So you've decided to get into the board games. Don't know where to start? Which ones to get? Don't worry, you've already made the first correct step, which is watching this video. At the end of this video, we will tell you what is the best overall intro board game in our ultra mega objective opinion. I said at the end of the video. It's not the end of the video. Each year, thousands and thousands of new board games are made. But which ones are good for you? Don't worry, we'll tell you which games, for which situations, and maybe even
it will make you forget all other hobbies, spend more and more money on more board games, forget your friends and family.
Unless they join you in this wonderful hobby called board gaming. Not only that, but we'll also tell you where to get these board games. And we'll give you some tips to create your first perfect board game event. And at the end of the video, like we mentioned, we're gonna tell you the best intro board game ever. Not yet. Since you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you know how to use a smartphone or a computer, and you can Google best board games in the world. But assumptions can be dangerous, because if you Google that and assume those are the best for you, they might just be too big, too confusing, just too much of everything. That doesn't mean they're bad, just not good when starting out. Here's the first tip. You should check out BoardGameGeek.com. It is an immense help in the journey that is called board games for everyone. Think IMDb for movies, except this is for games. It's the best resource out there, second to this channel and this video, of course. Most exciting thing to check out on Board Game Geek is the top 100 list of all the board games. It is a great list, but like I said, doesn't mean those games are good when starting out. When clicking any game on Board Game Geek, you can check out its weight. This number doesn't mean the physical weight of the game, it means the mental weight of the game. This one's an exception, this one's like both. But what we suggest is something around 2, maybe below. Party games will be a 1, and well, this one's like a 5. Here's the second tip. You need to figure out who you will be playing with, and then we'll tell you what game to use. The most obvious one? Your friends. What do you mean you can't make it? But it's the campaign, we started the campaign. I thought we're friends. Can't you get married some other day? Your friends are going to be the ones you're going to be playing the most with, unless you're not. In Board Game Hangover's opinion, this is the best intro board game you can play with your friends, the ones who can make it at least. Thunder Road Vendetta is the best intro game with friends because it has dice. It has a lot of dice that you get to roll. Second thing is, it has cars. It has a lot of cars. You get to race these cars around the track. You get to ram these cars into other players' cars and trying to destroy them. You get to shoot at the other players' cars and trying to destroy them. All with a single goal of being last one alive or getting your car off to the finish line. It has an amazing theme, the gameplay itself is super action-packed, almost cinematic. It doesn't have a lot of rules, and it takes only around an hour to play. And what can be friendlier than trying to kill your friends, right? Wait, no, please, no. What if they don't like the next game and they don't subscribe or worse, don't become our Patreon? Because if they do become our Patreon, they get to see an extra video every month, join our Discord server, and meet all the other great people that support us. And if you didn't like this game, that's okay. Doesn't mean you don't like board games. Just means you should try other ones. And on that note, let's get to the next category. In my case, the easiest gaming group to organize is my family, since we live in the same area, aka the same apartment. Does your family have children? How young are your children? How big is your family? I mean, we could create a whole list just talking about family games, which I think we have. If we had to pick just one, it would be Cascadia. Cascadia is a very simple yet thinky, is it thinky? Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, it is thinky. A little bit thinky game where I can explain the rules in just a couple of minutes. All you do on your turn is you're gonna grow your terrain by picking one pair of terrain tile and an animal. You can add the terrain tile any way you want to your area, creating lusher fields or bigger forests. And then this little cute foxy now has a place where to live, even though we still don't know what exactly it says. Then you refill the tile and the animal, looking for a new home, and you continue this way until you run out of tiles, and then you see how well your animals did. For example, this fox likes a varied kitchen. It likes to eat some of this meat, some of that meat, so it wants different animals around it. And then you score for bigger forests and bigger fields in different kind of ways. It takes around 30 minutes to play. That's essentially all the rules, and you can play it with most anyone. A perfect family game. So, you want to have fun, just the two of you, and this time you want to try board games? Excellent! There are many great two-player games, and for a very long time my wife was my main gaming partner. But after 14 years of marriage, she says, I gave you 3 children, so I don't have to play games with you anymore. The best two-player game? Star Wars the card game. The deck-building card game. The card game about deck-building this game. It's quick, it's brutal, and it's simple. One player takes the role of rebellion, trying to defeat the other player, who is the evil empire. You do that by destroying the other player's bases. The first one to do that wins. It's in the name, but if you don't know what the deck building game is, it means we each start with our own little deck of cards, and during the game we'll be adding cards to our deck and playing them. That way our deck becomes stronger and can do more things. You're going to be playing cards in front of you, getting resources to get more cards, or getting firepower to destroy other players' cards or the base. This game is dripping with Star Wars theme, but if you're not into Star Wars or sci-fi in general, don't worry. Again, there are other two-player games you can try. For example, me and my wife for a very long time, 14 years as you now know, played a lot of Seven Wonders Duel, which is also a great option. We just like this better. Oh, hello there. Sometimes you are the best company you could ever need. Or maybe your children are too busy doing other things like playing Fortnite. Or your wife won't give you more children to play with. Fine by me, I mean you. Either way, there are many great solo games you can play all by yourself, and we think this is the best intro solo game out there. Island Something Shiny is the best solo-only game, in our objective opinion. Island Something Shiny is a story-driven game where you are playing a little rabbit that is very curious and sees something shiny somewhere in the distance. You'll be playing through multiple scenarios, and each scenario has a little comic book that explains what you're going to be doing, and then when you're done with the scenario, the ending of that scenario. The main thing you do in this game is you're going to be going through a deck of cards, making choices, doing skill checks, reading a little bit of story, and then depending on the decision, that card will either go back into a deck later or is removed from the game. Once you go through the deck one time, you've spent a day in this scenario, and you have a certain amount of days to accomplish that scenario's objective for the little rabbit girl. It might be many different things, and we're gonna avoid spoilers and let you discover for yourself. But it's a very chill experience with a great story and very different mechanisms, pretty much so in each scenario. You can actually play this with multiple people. Giannis played it with his wife, and they enjoyed their evenings every time they played this. Even though it is about a cute rabbit girl, it starts already on a very grim note, and the story itself might be a bit too dark for some. And no, turning on the light won't help. Sometimes you feel sophisticated enough to try something heavier, even though it's not an intro game. Bring me the best board game you have.
But sir, this is intro video.
Enough! I want the best board game. Oh, exquisite! If you're feeling like blah 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 blah, don't tell me what's good intro, I want the best, then you might give this a go. Dune Imperium is what we would call a gamer's game. However, we have found success in teaching this to people who have played none or some board games. Maybe it's because of the theme, maybe it's because of the many different mechanisms that are in this game. You will play one of the people from the great houses from the Dune universe, and you're struggling to become the most powerful house, and you achieve that by getting victory points. You're going to be getting these victory points by sending your agents onto different board spaces and collecting resources which you can spend to have bigger armies or have influence with the smaller houses. Also, you'll be playing cards from your hand which tell you where you can send the agent, plus it will have some special ability. Depending when you play that card during one of your turns or when you pass, you might get different benefits. And you can get new cards to add into that deck and make your deck stronger and more varied. It is definitely going to be longer than any other game on our list, but the theme, the different mechanisms, the conflict, there's a lot of conflict in this game, so you don't feel the time passing. So if you're feeling like a daredevil and want to try one of those bigger games, then we think Dune Imperium is a good place to start. Now you know which games to get and hopefully for whom you're gonna get them, but where do you get them? We try to buy from our friendly local gaming stores and try to support our local community. Borrow from Imans, who is a good friend of ours, supporter of this channel and has lent us games 20 plus times at least. We will of course buy them online as well, and here are some websites you could use. Mano Hobbies, Brain Games, Philibert, Board Game Geek, Zatu, Magic Madhouse, Chaos Cards, Kienda, Game Nerds, Miniature Market, Noble Knight, and of course Amazon. And you of course can borrow from Imans again or use your local alternative of Imans. You have your game, you know when and with whom you will play. Now all you need is to prepare for the game night. You only need 3 things to make the game night a great success. First one, read the rules in advance and know them by heart. Well, you can look some things up, but you need to know 90% of them. Second thing is never plan it too late. If everyone's tired, it's gonna be hard to understand the rules, everyone wants to go home, somebody already fell asleep, it's not gonna work. And the third thing is, I do not remember. I remember now. You need to calm the people down by saying, it's just a simple learning game. Don't worry, it doesn't matter who wins or loses, the fate of the world is not decided by this game.
Unless it is.
Here's another tip for you. You might want to protect your investment, because depending on your, oh my god, friends might want to sleeve your cards. They protect them from, there you go, now you're safe. You know, spills and different kinds of accidents. And Board Game Geek is a good resource where you can find what types of sleeves and sizes you need for your cards. So, you know, you don't have to, but especially if the cards require a lot of eating around them or, you know, shuffling, then you might want to consider sleeving them. And finally, we've come to the point you've been waiting for, suffering through all the bad jokes to find out that the best intro board game overall, in our opinion, is is
Quedlinburg's påslåtai.
aka Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Woo!
Do they need to get the Latvian version?
Latvian is best. Yeah.
Boom. Quacks of Quedlinburg is the best game for me, the main reason being everyone who I have played with has liked it.
In this game, you are pulling out of the bag these chips that are ingredients, and you're making a potion. The only problem is that you have no clue how to make a potion.
So you're just blindly pulling these out, placing into your pot, and hoping that it doesn't explode.
These green spiders, great for potions. These yellow roots, even better. And you're just steering it and having a blast.
You kind of are having a blast without having a blast. Because if you have a blast, you're having less of a blast.
If you pull out too many of these white, flowery things.
Usually you will score some points and buy new ingredients. But if your pot explodes, you can just do one of those 2 things. And that's essentially the game. I've played this with little kids, I've played this with old people like me, and in all the cases, I've liked it. It's just a lot of fun, full of surprises, full of decisions.
So as an intro game, I think it has almost everything.
Thank you for watching. If you want to disagree, do it in the comments and let us know which are your best intro games in each of these categories.
And give your compliments to Janis's beautiful family.
I thought we were all past that. Come on, man. Can we maybe not? You were joking when you said we're sending these out as Christmas cards to our supporters, right?